guys, it's Miss Hope. I told you I was going to read you a book about cowboys, right? Well, here it is. It's Matthew the Cowboy, and it was written by Ruth Hooker. You guys ready? I want you to put your listening ears on. Put them on. Ready? Lock your mouth down. Throw it all the way outside the door. Ready? Throw it all the way outside. Good job. Here we go. Matthew got a cowboy suit for his birthday. A cowboy suit? Just what I always wanted, he said. He put on his boots and the chaps and the vest and the 10-gallon hat. So long, Matthew said to his mother and father. I'm going out west to be a cowboy. There he is. On his way out west, he came to a general store. Howdy, said the storeman. I see you're a cowboy, but where's your horse? I don't have a horse, said Matthew. That's easy to fix. The plains are full of wild horses. What you need now is a saddle, a bridle, some spurs that go jingle, jangle, jingle. Here, partner, you can borrow these. Don't mind if I do, said Matthew, and he strapped on the spurs, slung the saddle and the bridle over his shoulder, and went jingle, jangle, jingle on his way. When he reached the plains, sure enough, there was lots of horses. A beautiful white horse came up to Matthew. Matthew gentled the horse by stroking him and talking to him. Would you be my horse? Matthew asked. We can ride the range together, and I'll call you Silver. Silver whined, so Matthew bridled, saddled, mounted him, and they rode across the range. Before long, Matthew met another cowboy. Howdy, partner, the other cowboy said. I'm Rocky, boss of the Rocky 9 Ranch. Well, howdy, Matthew said. I'm Matthew. I can see you're a good guy, said Rocky. I'll take it kindly if you'd come and help me and my cowhands, Slim, Tex, and Pete. We got trouble back at the ranch. Don't mind if I do, said Matthew. Rocky handed Matthew a lasso. Take this, he said. You might need it. Thank you kindly, said Matthew, twirling his lasso, and they headed to the Rocky 9 Ranch. Do you guys see all the cactuses right there? On the way, they passed the Wagon Wheel Ranch. The ranch was full of cattle, all branded with the Wagon Wheel brand. Some strange branding irons laid near the fence. That's funny, said Rocky. Where did those cows come from? Last I knew, nobody lived here at all. At last, they reached the Rocky 9 Ranch with the Rocky 9 brand over the gate. Sad-looking cowhands were sitting along the fence, but there wasn't a cow in sight. Howdy, said Matthew. I'm Matthew. Howdy, said Slim, Tex, and Pete. Where's your cows, said Matthew. We can't find them, said Slim. Last night, they just plumb disappeared. Rocky said, there's dirty work afoot. Yep, said Matthew, and I reckon the answer's at the Wagon Wheel Ranch. Let's ride. When they got to the wagon wheel, the cows were gone. All they found were branding irons. Rocky said, that's mighty strange brand. It's not strange, said Matthew. Put that brand on top and I'll show you how it's done. Matthew drew a Rocky 9 brand and then he drew the strange brand on top of it. Together they made a perfect wagon wheel. You got it figured out, said Rocky. Let's get the sheriff. So they took the branding irons and galloped off to the sheriff's office. Do you guys see? They took those two ones and then they made just the one wagon wheel. So sneaky. Howdy, Sheriff, said Matthew. We got to catch some rustlers who've been stealing cattle from the Rocky 9. He showed the sheriff the branding irons. I reckon it's Bad Bart and his boys, the sheriff said. I heard they were back. The sheriff made Matthew a deputy and gave him a star. They'll be heading for the border, said the sheriff, but we can cut them off at the pass. So they all mounted up and they galloped to the pass, and they hid behind some boulders, and they waited. Sure enough, they saw those rustlers heading towards the pass with the cattle. Bad Bart was in the lead. Yahoo! Shouted Matthew, twirling his lasso, and he galloped right up to those rustlers. Matthew captured Bad Bart. Rocky, the sheriff, lassoed the rest of the rustlers. You're all under arrest, said the sheriff. Slim, Tex, and Pete rounded up the cattle. The sheriff put the rustlers in jail and gave the cattle back to Rocky. Then the sheriff asked Matthew, "Would you like to be my deputy forever?" "Thank you kindly, Sheriff, but the sun is setting and I gotta get moving on," said Matthew, and he handed his star back to the sheriff. "Come and stay in my bunkhouse and be my head cowboy," said Rocky. "Thank you kindly, Rocky, but I gotta get moving on," Matthew said, and he handed the lasso back to Rocky. As Matthew slowly rolled away, he heard the sheriff say, "There goes the best cowboy in all the West." When Matthew reached the horse on the plains, he unsaddled and unbridled Silver and said a sad goodbye and let him go join the wild horses. At the general store, Matthew gave the storeman the saddle and the bridle and the spurs that went jingle, jangle, jingle. Then he headed home. "Howdy," said his mother and father. "Howdy," said Matthew. "How about some grub?" his mother asked. "Don't mind if I do," said Matthew. Did you guys like that story? I want to see if you guys could be some cowboys. Maybe you guys could have some grub tonight. Maybe you could feed the little critters at your house. It just means your pets. But maybe you could go do that. Have a great week, guys. Love you.